Why do I lose urgency at the end of the week? You don't lose urgency, you lose tension. And that shift doesn't just happen on Fridays, it happens at the end of the day. At the end of a hard hour, after you finish something that mattered. Anytime pressure drops, your system assumes the threat is over. Early in the week, everything feels tight. Deadlines feel closer than they are. Your inbox feels louder than it actually is. You wake up Monday already aware that something is expected from you. Your identity steps into operator mode. You're not asking how you feel, you're moving. By Thursday night or Friday afternoon, most of the visible fires are smaller. You handled some things. You acknowledged others. You told yourself you'll circle back next week. And strangely, that acknowledgement feels like progress. You looked at the task. You thought about the task. You planned the task. Your brain logs that as movement, even if nothing moved. So the edge fades. But this isn't about Friday. Friday just makes it obvious. Watch what happens at 9:18 p.m. on a Tuesday. You had good momentum at 1 p.m. You knocked out something solid. By night, the pressure is gone. Suddenly, the same goal that felt urgent earlier feels negotiable. I'll start tomorrow. I deserve a break. I've already done enough today. Same person, same ambition, different tension level. Or think about 3:07 p.m. on a Wednesday. You complete one focused block of work. The pressure eases. Your body relaxes. And instead of rolling into the next thing, you hover. You scroll. You wander. Not because you're incapable, because your system thinks the job is done. Urgency is rarely about discipline. It's about perceived consequence. When consequence feels close, you act. When consequence feels distant, you soften. The issue isn't softening. The issue is drifting. There's a big difference between downshifting and drifting. Downshifting means you lower intensity, but stay intentional. You finish small things. You close loops. You prepare the next step. You move slower, but you're still steering. Drifting means you mentally exit before the phase is actually complete. You don't close, you just escape. And drift compounds quietly. If you drift on Friday afternoon, Mondays feel heavier than it should. Not because there's too much work, because you left threads open. If you drift at the end of the night, the morning feels chaotic. You wake up already behind yourself. If you drift after one productive hour, the rest of the day fractures into half-effort blocks. This is a pattern that repeats across time scales. End of week, end of day, end of hour. Every time tension drops, you're faced with a decision. Do I close intentionally, or do I disappear into relief? Your identity wants progress. It wants to build something steady. Your nervous system wants safety. It wants the pressure to stop. Both are valid. The problem happens when relief becomes your automatic response to every dip in tension. Because relief feels earned long before closure is complete. That's why urgency fades. Not because you don't care, not because you lack drive, because your body interprets reduced pressure as permission to disengage. So instead of trying to force Monday level intensity on a Friday or morning level focus at 10 p.m., shift the frame. Friday isn't about speed, it's about sealing. The end of the day isn't about starting something massive, it's about closing something small. The end of an hour isn't about another sprint, it's about setting the next entry point. Ask yourself different questions depending on the phase. At the end of the week, what would make Monday lighter? At the end of the day, what would make tomorrow calmer? At the end of this hour, what would make the next block easier to enter? Not perfect, not heroic, just lighter. Maybe it's sending the one email you've been hovering over, writing the first ugly sentence so you're not staring at a blank page tomorrow, cleaning the workspace so your future self walks into clarity instead of clutter. Putting the workout on the calendar instead of promising it in your head. Early week is expansion. Midweek, stabilization. End of week, consolidation. Morning is execution. Afternoon is management. Night is closure. These are phases, not personality flaws. You don't lose urgency, you respond to changing tension across time. The goal isn't to stay intense all the time. That's unsustainable. The goal is to stay intentional through the shifts. Intensity builds, intention carries. And the reason this matters is simple. The week doesn't reset you. The day doesn't reset you. The hour doesn't reset you. They carry forward whatever you left open. So if you feel urgency fading right now, don't panic. Don't shame yourself. Just redirect. Close something. Seal something. Prepare something. Stay with it a little longer than your nervous system wants to. Not aggressively, not dramatically. Just enough to prevent drift. Because how you close one phase quietly determines how you enter the next. This is Fish Motivates. Take what matters, leave the rest behind.